Good day, and welcome to the conference call of Navin Fluorine International Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during this conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sumit Khaitan from Orient Capital. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nirav. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to the conference call of Navin Fluorine International Limited. Today on this call, we have Mr. Vishad Mufadlal, Chairman, Mr. Radesh Welling, Managing Director, Mr. Anish Ganatra, Chief Financial Officer, and Mr. Neeraj Mankad, President, Legal and Company Secretary of Navin Fluorine International Limited. Please note that this call is organized to update the analysts and investors about the recent developments in the company and to address any queries related to the same. We will not be able to address any queries or questions or provide information related to the performance in Q2 FY24 or the ongoing quarter due to compliance regulations and restrictions. However, this conference call may contain forward-looking statements about the company, which are based on beliefs, opinions, and expectations as of today. Actual results may differ materially. These statements are not the guarantees of the future performance and involve risks and uncertainties that are difficult to predict. Investors should not place undue reliance on these forward-looking statements, which are based on information available to us as on date of this call. We undertake no obligation to update or revise any forward-looking statements, whether as a result of new information, future events, or otherwise, unless required by applicable law. With this, now I hand over the call to Chairman Mr. Vishad Mufadlal for his opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to thank all of you for attending this call. As you are aware, Radesh has tendered his resignation as Managing Director and Director for personal reasons. The board, at its meeting on 28 September 2023, accepted his resignation, and he will be relieved from close of business hours on 15 December 2023. The search for his successor is underway and will be a subject of a separate announcement. As Executive Chairman, I'll steer the company ably assisted by the leadership team. On behalf of the board, I thank Radesh for all his contributions to Navin Fluorine and wish him all the very best for his future endeavors. Radesh will work closely with me over the remainder of his time with Navin to aid a smooth transition. I strongly believe that Navin is well positioned across our business verticals, HPP, specialty, and CDMO, to capture the growth opportunities presented. Our vision, strategy, and growth priorities remain directionally intact, despite near-term headwinds from a challenging macro environment. Our focus on safe, compliant, reliable, and efficient operations continues to remain our top priority. We will also continue to pursue growth opportunities as and when they are matured in a disciplined fashion and within the construct of a strong financial framework. Our operating model, with each business vertical headed by respective CEOs, complemented by site and functional leadership, has served us well. Experienced leadership enabled by a robust operating model remains a key enabler of our program. The model allows us to remain agile, drive customer centricity, and strong operational discipline in everything we do. Our partnership with key customers is stronger than ever before, and we continue to deepen our relationships with them across businesses. I am also excited to share with you the appointment of Mr. Sudhir Dev as additional director to the board. Mr. Dev brings to Navin over 4 decades of rich technical and relevant operational experience, including significant expertise in the field of ESG and sustainability. In conclusion, we look forward with optimism, knowing that our company is well equipped to sustainably grow over the coming years. Thank you all for your time. I now open the floor for questions.
Thank you very much. We'll now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask the question. The first question is from the line of Sudarshan Padmanabhan from GM Portfolio Management Service. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for taking my question. Sir, if I look at the growth trajectory in the last 2 to 3 years, we have forged the long-term contract.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
May I request you to speak a little louder, please?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Better, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in the last 2 to 3 years, we have seen a more aggressive, capex, more aggressive growth across verticals, and also the emergence of, the long-term contract with Honeywell and extension of that. So, with the departure of, do we actually see a change in the capex intensity, or do we continue to go with the strategy that we have embarked on the growth and capacity? My second question is on the R&D side. So there has been a lot of emphasis on the R&D, specifically in the last few years, which has gone through. I'm coming back again to the HPP side. Would there be a change in the strategy on the R&D side as well? These are my 2 questions.
Yeah. So to take the first question, our relationships with customers like Honeywell and have been deep, and they are based on mutual trust and performance. So the company at all levels owns this relationship. The capex is with all these customers and business for the future in different formats are on track. There is no change or any impact from any of these large customers. In fact, a lot of them are actually in talks with us for future projects. As far as the R&D spend and the development, the way we have been operating is the same way Navin will continue to operate. The growth trajectory and following up of new businesses will be done in a proper framework, keeping in mind the strong balance sheet. So in short, to answer both the questions, Navin will continue as it has always been doing the last 4 years.
Thanks a lot, Vishal. That's largely something.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Abhijit Akella from Kotak Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my questions. I have 2, sir. First, just on the upcoming project pipeline, we have this, fairly significant 540 crore capex getting commissioned in December, and then there's also the R32 project and the EHF projects. And I believe we also expected to announce maybe 3 more projects during the course of FY24, including new contract with Honeywell for a new product possibly, and then something in specialty chemicals, something in CGMP4 at Devas. So just to sort of get an update on, whether this management transition that's happening now or the uncertain macro that we are passing through, whether that might have any impact in terms of the execution of any of these projects or, the new announcements. Thank you.
Yeah. So as far as the project pipeline, as you mentioned, we are underway on 3 projects. All of them are on track. There is no issue on delivering this. As far as the future projects, whether it is in specialty or CGMP4 or any other, these are under thorough evaluation. They would be impacted, if at all, for maybe a month or 2 or 3, based on the overall global environment. As far as the company, we are geared up to executing and initiating all new projects.
Got it. That's helpful. Thank you. And the other thing I just was hoping to get your perspective on is, what was the key portfolio of responsibilities that were primarily vested with Mr. Welling? If so, what are the plans to reallocate those across the senior management team now? And just wondering whether the board has sort of, evaluated whether attrition in the senior management ranks at Navin Fluorine has perhaps been a little bit higher than the peer set, and if so, what steps, if any, might be required to arrest this trend? Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, Radesh, the managing director, and driving all the teams is what he was doing. As far as the transition, the same will be done by me. We have a strong second line and third line. This is one of the advantages that Navin has seen over many years of having a very strong manufacturing and R&D and technical services department. As far as executing businesses, we are on track. We have no issue. The board has taken note of the fact that incidents like this can happen. We have already on way to look at a replacement, but it has to be a balance to make sure that the continuity remains, so that whatever growth and strategies we have planned need to be ably executed in the future. The board has also set up through the NRC a committee which will look at specifically issues on HR, and hopefully we will arrest a higher attrition rate, as you mentioned.
Thank you so much, sir, and all the best to Mr. Welling.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Ankur Periwal from Axis Capital. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity. First, on the leadership bit, you did mention that, NRC will be taking care of the leadership, going ahead. Just your thoughts in terms of any, preference for an internal or an external candidate, and how do you think, from a culture or a continuity of strategy perspective, things going ahead?
Yeah, so it will definitely be an external candidate. The search is already is on. The NRC is going to be a part of the search. It's a very laid down, clear process which will be in place for the search. Execution, leadership, and continuity, and these are top 3 priorities. And we will definitely be objective, have many references, look at this in a very balanced manner, along with the NRC who would be involved in this search.
Sure, sir. Secondly, I'm sure you would have had some initial words with the clients as well in terms of the exit and the continuity, etc. And there is a clear cut business for CEO, so there is obviously continuity in terms of business growth, project execution, as you highlighted. But any feedback, any pushback from the clients, given again coming back to the same point that there has been some attrition which we have been facing as a company over the last few years, earlier at the lower level, mid level, but now at the senior level as well. So how do you target to address that?
So number one, there is no pushback from any top customers. They, of course, I have been informed, and I have personally informed our top 10, 15 customers. They are very clear that the multiple touch points that Navin has to offer these relationships is one of the reasons and criteria they have looked at while working with Navin Fluorine. Therefore, they believe that things remain unchanged, and the focus going forward will be to engage deeply with us at, again, many levels, including myself, and strengthening all our relationships.
Sure, sir. That's it from my side, and thank you, and all the best. Thanks.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask the question. Next question is from the line of Chirag Shah from White Pine Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. So just one question, rather two questions. Question one, so from Khanolkar to Radesh, we have seen a very different set of skill set that Navin has looked at while looking at successor or in that sense. So from here on, given the size, the scale, what are the key things that you would be looking at? You highlighted continuity. That's a normal part of process, but anything specific that you would be looking at the past? Just trying to understand that. Where are we in terms of organizational growth path that would like to address when you look for the successor of Radesh?
Yeah, so your observation is definitely great. All of them have great skill sets. Even Radesh for what he has done, Khanolkar for what he did. Going forward, the importance of execution and capabilities of taking on large projects and delivering them efficiently on time is something which is very important. So having a deep experience in technology and operations would be on top of the mind.
Hello?
Yes. Could you hear me?
Yeah. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes,
yeah.
You're audible.
Yeah. So second question was actually to Radesh, and if he wishes to, and also to Vishal yourself, that how could you have ensured that Radesh would have stayed? Because another 2-3 years and this company would have done great wonders, given that we are at an incubation of a next leg of journey. So, and that's one thing that is there in everybody's mind, that why he is leaving at this point in time. Another 2-3 years or 4 years would have been done wonders for the company actually. If Radesh would like to share his views, it would be helpful.
Yeah, hi, this is Radesh here. I think as our chairman already laid out, we as an organization we as a company have extremely strong organization today. As you know, all the three businesses have their respective CEOs. We've actually significantly strengthened our execution team, be it in projects, T&D, R&D, etc. And all our large key accounts, international key accounts, have multiple touch points. So we believe that either on the existing projects which have already got commissioned, or on the new projects which are in the pipeline, or new projects which are currently being discussed with the customers, we believe we will continue to operate in the same fashion in the next few years as we have been in the last 5 years. So I feel pretty confident that external stakeholders would not see any difference in the way we are led, or the way we execute, or the way we continue on the growth trajectory.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Sanjesh Jain from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for taking my question. Vishal, one on a much broader level. Our balance sheet used to be a net cash. Now we are almost 2 times net debt to EBITDA, and we have a strong pipeline of capex which is already being announced, and there is few more on the anvil to be considered. So balance sheet right now, probably the investment is ahead of the cash flow generation. That's always the case in a growth. Nothing wrong with it, but we have been very cautious and we have always highlighted the strength as a balance sheet will continue and we are cognizant of that. But on the other side, promoter stake in the company is relatively low, which caps the ability to raise equity beyond a point. How do you see the balance between the growth, cash flow generation, managing the strength of the balance sheet over the next 2 to 3 years? We know that we are already announced a fundraise, but what will be the priority in the for next 2 to 3 years?
So as you yourself have mentioned, we have already a plan which is moving ahead for a fundraise. We are very aware and are aware of the fact that optimum capital structure is required to support growth opportunities. We have always pursued disciplined growth without stretching our balance sheet. At the same time, we are going to pursue projects that generate higher returns. And multiple such opportunities are in the pipeline. And to prepare ourselves, we took this approval for the QIP. And we will leverage the balance sheet to an extent that is attractive, as well as through the QIP route, to make sure that based on returns and strong relationships and strategic needs for products, we will go ahead and implement our plans for growth.
Any number in terms of what is an optimal debt level? As a board, we are comfortable, or net debt to EBITDA or absolute net debt which we think? Because I think last approval was a net debt to a level of 1,100 crores. Any change there? If you can share, that will be very helpful.
Yes, Sanjay, can I?
So, Sanjay, I will request Anish Bhai to answer this.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Sanjay.
Hey, hi, sir.
Sanjay, see, for us, as we continue on the growth trajectory with new projects coming in and as they start getting mature and revenue streams flow in, along with our own balance sheet strength, we think we have enough capability to pursue the growth opportunities we can meaningfully execute and mature, right? And with the fundraise discussion that Vishad Bhai already said in terms of the enabling resolution, that is also an enabling resolution only to accelerate some of the growth opportunities. We are very clear as we went into this that based on our strength of the projects that are coming into stream and the cash flow that will be generated, we feel that we will have enough in a normal course of events. The fundraise will be an opportunity to accelerate some of that. So, while we don't give guidances on what the expected debt level will be, etc., in the future, but rest assured it is going to be within a very balanced and solid framework, because that's something that we're very clear we will not deviate from.
No, I'm very, very clear. Sorry, let me rephrase that question probably. I was not looking for a guidance. I was just looking for a directionally, because I think this is something we have discussed earlier also, is that what is the net debt to EBITDA or some metrics which we internally track, which we are comfortable with. Clearly, this is not a guidance or anything. I'm looking at it. And I know the QIP is an enabling, that I'm very, very clear about that.
Yeah, so Sanjay, I hear you. But like I've said before, we resist to give any of those guidances outside. But, conceptually, I mean, you're looking at our numbers. You shouldn't be able to see what cash flows these generate and how much opportunity that allows us to, along with a normal leverage, which any company would adopt, a good balance of debt and equity, funding for the projects. I think we have sufficient bandwidth to pursue the growth projects as these mature with all of that. Without
fair enough, sir. No, I never doubted our ability to execute or grow. It's just that the resources always limited, and we are in a sweet spot where probably opportunities is running ahead of the resources. I just wanted to understand how aggressive we are going, and that's the only intent of the question, but I hear you very clearly.
Yeah, Sanjay, if I just add one more final comment to it. I mean, it's always good to have resources that are limited because it forces you to pick up the right opportunities,
That is fair. Got that point clear. The second question, Vishad, probably is on the HR side. Which are the key roles beyond the CEO which we are pursuing right now? Are there any key roles which are still vacant and we are looking for filling those, or a new capability resources we are trying to add in the organization which is growing very fast? That's one. Number two, on the CEO, prospective CEO, what is the thought process? You want to tilt more towards chemical, or you want to have more flavor on the pharma side to have a better control on the CDMO business? How are we looking at a prospective candidate? What will be the 2-3 priority for us from the capability perspective?
Yeah. So as far as the hirings are going, I think most of our key positions, and I'm talking across mid to senior levels, are already in place.
Okay.
So I don't think there is any doubt on that part, or we don't have to really, in terms of bandwidth, stretch ourselves for execution. As far as the research and your point and comment on pharma, I mean, this is just the first week, and because of compliance, and I couldn't actually you go ahead with the first post all these announcements. So we are I have already given the mandate. The points that you have taken are definitely the points which I am considering, whether it is going to be pharma heavy or it's going to be for execution or for deep experience in manufacturing and chemicals. But it's too early days, so I really won't be able to comment because there's a cross-functional list which will come in the next 1 week or two. We'll have a better idea on it going forward.
Fair enough, sir. And thank you very much for taking all my questions, and all the best wishes to Mr. Radesh Velin.
Thank you very much. Next question is from the line of Madhav Marda from FIL. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Mr. Vishad, I have just one question. What are the steps that we can take as an organization to ensure that there is more stability in the senior management? Because there have been some KMP resignations in the last 2-3 years. I know this question was asked earlier, but just anything that you can highlight so that there's more stability, given we are into a very strong growth path with a lot of projects ongoing at this point.
Yeah. So you have a very valid question. This is something which is at the top of our minds and the mind of the board also. But it's a growing company, and I don't think there will be issue from the side of hiring, because a lot of people are looking at in the marketplace would like to be associated with us. As far as what the company has done, ESOPs have been given. We're looking at different other ways of actually trying to keep the attrition to a minimum. We have also started to create a think tank where we can train an experienced team to impart them with leadership skills. So we are working on multiple levels, because inherent to our growth is the capabilities, and because of that you need the right people. So we also have a leadership program at the level where we are hiring people directly from engineering and universities, so we can build a very strong talent base going forward. So it's a multiple ways of retention, engagement, empowerment, which we are pursuing to see that we don't miss out on any opportunities because of talent.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Rohan Gupta from Nuvama Institutional Equities. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good evening, and thanks for the opportunity. Those are much explanation have already been given on a lot of questions. I just want to know, sir, in next few days or few months, your increasing role in the organization, and going forward, do you think that you will continue to have much say or a role in terms of the planning the long-term projects and long-term divisions and long-term business prospects in clients and CDMO of the company, or do you think that it will still be completely driven by the independent company with the MDs taking all the decisions?
Yeah. So the last comment which you made is factually incorrect. So the strategy growth priorities is always my and the board's.
So, sir, I will correct myself. I meant that on the day-to-day activities, your involvement will be increasing, or it will be remain as.
Okay. Now that makes sense. But so yeah, I work very closely always with Rajesh and his predecessor. I continue to do that. We complement. We try to have people who can complement each other. That's been the strategy. I've always been guiding and working closely with the leadership team. The large customer engagements are with Navin and myself directly. A lot of my time is also been on devising strategies and empowering and enabling the next level of growth. That's what entrepreneurs normally do. And I will continue to do so when in this transition, as well as when we onboard the new MD. I do not see any challenges. And working closely with the leadership is something which is my priority.
So second is on in last 6 to 7 years, as we have seen the top leadership role getting changed. How do you think that your customers have viewed these things, and have you ever came across any such questions from your customers also questioning about the change in the top management and leadership?
Well, there's not asked any question. Definitely, we have had this conversation with the top customers. But as I had mentioned earlier, there is a very strategic onboarding process when you work with these large companies. So the evaluation which they do to onboard a company like Navin to be their vendor of choice is very rigorous, and it goes through a lot of levels of tick boxes which they have to be convinced before they actually engage us. So the process that we also lay out when we work closely and we put investments for these companies is quite robust. It also involves a board decision, where the board is backing us fully. Ultimately, they're also looking at the promoter, because the promoter is the last man standing, and they obviously engage and have deep conversations for existing and future businesses, looking at the outlook and the value system that the promoter can bring on.
Thanks, sir. Thank you for answering the question.
Yeah.
Thank you. A request to all the participants, please restrict to 2 questions per participant. If time permits, please come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. Next question is from the line of Christian Parwani from GM Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. Thank you for taking my question. Just one question from my side. I think since you mentioned that the candidate will mostly be an external one, so have we, given a thought about how far will we go in terms of the payout, just to get a sense on the employee expenses going forward?
Yeah. It's too premature. I'm really sorry. I won't be able to take this call because it's definitely based on what the right candidate. Everything is going to be based on that, and the board and the NRC will, in its wisdom, definitely look at all angles before we embark on it.
Okay, no worries. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, In the interest of time, we will take that as the last question. We now hand the conference over to Mr. Sumit Khaitan for closing comments.
Thank you everyone for participating in this conference call today. For any queries, please feel free to reach out to us. We are Orient Capital, Investor Relation Advisor to Navin Fluorine International Limited. Thank you everyone.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Navin Fluorine International Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.